All right, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College. I've been going over the PowerPoint presentations for Farrell's Microsoft Visual C# 2015 An Introduction to Object-Oriented Programming. For the last several chapters, I've gone over the PowerPoints and then I've written a GUI program followed by the same thing as in a console program. In this chapter, I've already gone over the PowerPoints, so I'm just going to quickly create a simple console app that's going to show some of this stuff for us, okay? And let's see. Let's create a new array. So int bracket numbers equal new int 25. All right. We'll also create a variable that we'll call smallest. We're going to set that equal to, I'm not even set it, we're just going to put that like that, and one call largest, and we're just going to do that. Now, you are all aware of the fact that there are things built into C# that are not in every language. Things like the array.sort and array.reverse, they're not available in every language. So we're going to pretend right now that these are not available in all languages. So I'm going to write, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create myself, I'm going to type in here, fill the array, and I'm going to pass numbers in to fill the array. All right, now I'm getting that, as you know, because I haven't written it yet. So I'm going to say here, static void fill the array. And we're going to we'll say int bracket, we'll just say n instead of numbers, okay? A little less typing to do. And we're going to fill up the array. All right, so random equals new random. That'll seed the rand for us. You know that hopefully already. And what that's doing is it's trying to make sure that every time we run this, we have a different set of random numbers. Okay? So for int LCV equals 0, LCV less than or equal to n dot length, not less than or equal to, I'm sorry, less than, n dot length plus LCV. N sub LCV equals random dot, or is it random dot next 1 through 100. Whoops, through 100. All right, so what we're trying to do here is we're trying to fill the array, with 25 random numbers, each number between 1 and 100. All right. Now notice the array here is empty. All right. And we're trying to fill it up in here. We're not passing it with a ref or anything else, but since an array is not a simple data item, since it's a complex data item or a data structure, I believe this will do that and it'll fill it for us. So after we do this, I'm going to call another routine here. Oops, sorry. So after we filled it, I'm going to call display the array. And again, I'll get red here because I haven't written it yet. Numbers. All right, we'll put that right down here. that should be an F, that should be a D, that should be an F, and that should be a D. So display the array. Int, bracket, bracket, we'll call it N again, it's fine. Alright, so now we're just going to print it out. So let me grab that for loop that we did before. And I don't care about commas, I don't care about anything. I'm just going to say here, right line, N LCB. So let's see, and then we got the right line because we have to say using system dot, not system, I'm sorry, static system dot console. All right, for right now, we're not going to worry about largest and smallest, okay? So, when we get done printing that, we're going to need to put in here a read line because otherwise it's going to go fly right off the screen. So, ideally, what's happening is we're coming in here creating an empty array, then we're going to call fill the array to fill it with 25 random numbers, and then we're going to call display the array, which is going to print it out for us. So let's see if indeed that works. And if we look here, here are our 25 numbers. Okay, they're not in any kind of order or anything, and that's fine, we don't care. The point though is that we had an empty array, and we passed that empty array into a routine which filled that empty array, and then we took that filled array and passed it into a routine. Okay. All right. So for this int largest and int smallest, okay. Let's call another routine here. We're going to call this. Now, normally, what I'm about to show you, you would do it in two different routines, but I'm going to do it in one routine. So I'm going to call find smallest and largest elements, and I'm going to pass in there as an out parameter smallest and as an out parameter largest. And I'm going to just grab all this so I've got. Alright, again, as always, I get the error because I have not yet written the routine. Static void. Alright, find largest. And these are going to have to be ints because we're going to have to let them know what it is we're trying to do the out on. So out int smallest and out int largest. Okay, so find largest and smallest elements. Find smallest and largest elements. I thought that was weird. Oh, that's why. Out. Okay, that should be correct now. Now, why am I getting this? Must declare a body. Oh, because we haven't declared any kind of body yet, so I want to get rid of that. And put in our curlies. And now, boom, come on, go away. Must be assigned a value before you leave the method. Okay, so this squiggly will go away once we've set smallest and largest. Okay, so I'm going to come in here and say that smallest, in fact, we have to pass the array too because we're going to iterate or work our way through the array. So we're going to pass largest and smallest as out parameters, and then we're just going to pass numbers, not as an out parameter though, because we're not changing it. So in here, we are going to need to add int bracket, bracket, n. Okay? All right. So we're going to say smallest equals n sub 0. Largest equals n sub 0. Again, I realize that we can do this because we've got sort and reverse methods, but I'm going to pretend for now we don't have those. So what I'm doing here is, at the beginning, I'm assuming that the first array element is both the smallest element and the largest element. That's what I'm assuming right there. Now that's not going to be true most of the time, but that's what I'm assuming. All right. Now I'm going to say if I'm going to work my way through the array for LCV equals 1, not 0, because I've already set up my 0th element. So for int LCV equal 1, LCV less than numbers, n dot length plus plus LCV. So I'm going to iterate my way through the array. And if the current number, which is n sub LCV, if that current number is less than smallest, well, what does that mean? It means we found a new smallest element. Smallest equals n sub LCV. Okay? Now I'm going to take and grab this whole thing, and I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to say, instead of less than smallest, if it's greater than largest, then largest equals that. And remember, I don't have to call this smallest and largest. I could have called this S, and I could have called that L as examples, which meant this would be S, then this would be L, all right, and S, S, L, L. All right. So now after we've called that, find largest and smallest, let's write another routine that's going to say display smallest and largest. We don't need to pass the array to it, but we do need to pass smallest. And since we're not changing them in largest, since we're not changing those values, we don't put out parameters there. We only put an out or a ref if we're physically changing them. All right, so I'm going to grab this. Static void. Okay, and yeah, that'll be fixed in a minute, so don't worry about it. And let's put it over here. We'll say int smallest, int largest. Again, we'll just use S and we'll use L. All right. Now, let's just do a write line, or two of them we'll put in here. The smallest element is S dot toString. We're kind of running out of room here, so let's put this on another line. All right, and then we'll say the largest is. So I'm going to just copy this. And this one then we'll say the largest element is L toString. So let's see if that works. Save it and run it again. Well, we've got our numbers in there. Remember, we have our read lines, so the read line's got to go down to the bottom now. So that read line that I put here under display the array is now in the wrong spot. That should go down here. So let's try saving it and running it again. The smallest element is 5 and the largest element is 97. Well, let's look and make sure that's correct. 7, 6, there's a 5. Yeah, that's the smallest. And there's 97. That's the largest. So what we did here was we came in and we used an out parameter to find the largest and to find the smallest. All right? Now, that's totally legit. There's absolutely nothing wrong with doing it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to comment out these 3 lines, okay? And I'm going to call it again. I know that sounds a little silly, but just please bear with me. So, I got to get rid of these comment lines. Now, instead of having them be outs, I'm going to have them be refs. All right? So ref smallest and ref largest. Now I'm going to have to change this because these were out parameters. So again, I'm going to, let's copy all this. And we'll comment this out. Just comment all of it out. And now this will have to be a ref. This will have to be a ref. Okay? Other than that, it's the same exact program we had before. Now, why am I getting an error here? Because I have not initialized those. Good, I'm glad I did that. Because these have to have values. Well, since this smallest value can be 1 and the largest value can be 100, I'm going to make smallest 101. So it's going to immediately be replaced. And I'm going to make the largest negative 999. So that'll be immediately replaced. Notice now how those have gone away. All right, save. Let's run this. There's our numbers. Smallest it says is 14. We've got 14 more than once. All right, that is the smallest and largest. 99. So that worked. So what I've shown you here is how, if we did not have an array sort, an array reverse, how we could do this either as out parameters like we did there and here, or as refs, which we did here and here. Okay? So the only other thing that we did not do yet was the variable parameters, and I'm going to go back and take a look at what they did in the book here, just because I think it might end up helping. I'd rather show it to you correctly than have to, oops, that's not what I want. I want Chapter 8. Parameter array. Okay, let me grab this. All right, it's not going to work, so I'll do it like So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to write this very quickly. Maybe not that quickly. So private, static, and these really should all be either private or public too. Okay, so we'll make this private. We'll make this private. In the next chapter, we're going to talk more about public and private. So if you're a little confused on what they are, we are going to talk about them in more depth and breadth of coverage then. All right, so array sum. I think they actually used a for each loop, if I'm right there. For each number in, I don't want number lock, oh that happened. For each number in A, isn't that the right syntax? Oh, I didn't tell the type. For each int number in A, all right, we're going to have a variable in here that's called sum, int sum. We'll set it equal to 0 when we first get in here. All right, and we'll say sum plus equals number. I think that's correct. And when we get done, we'll say right line this array has plus a dot length elements the sum of those elements is sum dot to string. All right. So we're using a parameter array. Why does this even matter? Well, I'm going to create another array in here. Okay. So we've got the first array, int bracket bracket numbers equals new int 25. Let's add another array, int bracket bracket, we'll call it numbers 2, equal new int size 50. Okay. All right, we've got our largest and our smallest. Let's see if how many changes we can make in here. So we've got fill the array and display the array for numbers. That's all fine. This is all cool. All right. So let's see if we can also do the same thing with numbers 2. So there we're calling it, boom, 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 display. So this will be numbers 2, numbers 2, numbers 2, and smallest and largest. That's all good. All right. Now let's call array sum, and we'll do it for both of them. All right. So I'm just going to do these both at the end. Array sum, and we'll pass it numbers, and that should say that there's 25 elements in there. And the total should be around 1,250 or so. And then we'll call it again with numbers 2. And now the total should be about double that. Now, the only other thing I want to do is I want to grab that read line that we were doing, because that's going to screw things up otherwise. And I have to move that down to my array sum, so down here. All right, and let's do a backslash n there. Sum of elements is good. All right. Okay. So there's our 25 elements. There. The smallest is 2, the largest is 94. Then there's our second array that's got 50 elements. The smallest is 2, the largest is 99. This array has 25 elements, and I said it should be around 1,250. When I hit enter, it shows me the second array, which has 50 elements in it. So what I've tried to show you in here, what we've done in here in this example, is first we came in and we used out parameters. All right. Then we replaced those out parameters with ref parameters. Then we then we added a new method that allowed us to enter in a variable number, an array of a variable number. We went through that array and we added a sum. Okay? Now this wasn't by far, this was not the greatest example in the world. All right? But it's okay. I'm trying to figure out how to clean this up a little bit. Oh, I may have to get rid of this, but we'll see. Console dot clear. I'm either going to make that better or a lot worse, so we're going to find out right now. Okay, there's our 25 numbers. The smallest, the largest. The array has 25 elements, and there's the sum. Hit enter. There's our 50 numbers. Smallest, largest has 20. That should have said it has 50 elements. I don't know why that one was still in there. Oh, because it was called twice. And there is our 50 elements. All right, so it looks a little nicer like that. So in this example, again, I've shown you out parameters. I've shown you ref parameters. And I've shown you a variable length or a params list for the array. That's it, and we did it all in under half an hour. All right? So what's next on the docket again is to come back and talk object-oriented programming.